morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Associated Guests Saturday morning special. Well, Saturday afternoon now. My apologies. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, it's finally over. Candace Owens. I gotta say, after the Nick Fuentes interview, we'll get to it, but Piers Morgan needed a win, and he got it today. So let's get started with Mr. Nux Anor.
The Goyim are going crazy. So Candace Owens lost her entire career overnight in one of the most diabolical meltdowns I think I've ever seen, ever. So in her attempt to blame everything that ever happened on the Jews, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk, one of, honestly, my biggest inspirations. Honestly, we have kind of a meltdown to go through. She lost tons of subscribers. She lost her fans. Her fans turned on her. You are so not prepared for the level of meltdown we are about to witness.
I'm ready. I've seen just a little bit of this.
That, look, if the scientists are right about evolution, she is proof that not everyone is fully evolved, which is why I personally believe in the more God-given approach to creation of monkeys. So the reality is pretty diabolical. All right, you're not ready for what we're about to see. She met up with Erica Kirk. She got dismantled by Erica, dismantled by her own comments, dismantled on Piers Morgan. People are not aware of the level of downfall she's experiencing.
You've got to hit play, man.
And I was there at the very beginning. So I need to remind you of what she said. All right, I need to remind you of what she said because I'm about to show you how she basically backtracked on literally everything and betrayed her entire audience. So let's remind you what
Candace Owens doesn't stand for anything.
Probably murderer of Charlie Kirk.
I've learned is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime.
That's a lie. They actually were the ones that turned him in.
I was like, excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right?
Yeah, they turned him in.
And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in because this guy, you know, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler.
Is that surprising?
And eventually they said, you've got to do the right thing here. We know this is you. That was the vibe. Certainly, that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up.
True.
Well,
that was the truth. They turned him in.
I was told actually that it was kind of the opposite.
She was told.
Quote unquote family friend who we learned was a former detective with the police force, at least, and so therefore has strong ties with the police station, informed the family. It was that in-between person.
She was told that it wasn't the family that noticed that the son was the...
I really wonder if she just comes up with this bullshit on the fly and is somehow good at managing it. Or if she's got writers. This is an insane level of just bullshit.
The killer. It was someone else that noticed that the son was the killer and then convinced the other guys to tell him to convince the son to turn himself in.
Family, that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler.
I can't believe Israel would do this, man.
He gives them the heads up, and then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself in, was because that family friend slash neighbor slash former detective told him, hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, you know, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy.
Why would they arrest him if he didn't do it? So you're saying that he turned himself in even though he thought he was innocent, and his father called the cops to arrest his son even though the father also thought he was innocent? And it was the family friend that convinced the family to turn their son in as a killer for no reason? What?
So... that's what happened. He went over to their house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk.
No, I didn't.
In fact, according to my source,
Tyler
has never even...
You know what sucks? And the only reason I'm watching this instead of just watching the Candace video itself is because of all of his little side things and his much better ability than mine to go back and forth between a bunch of different things. I'm working on it, though.
Stepped foot on UVU campus.
Oh my God. So remember this conspiracy. Her conspiracy is Tyler, the killer, never even entered the campus before. All right, you have to pay attention because she backtracks her entire conspiracy and her audience is literally furious at her.
it turns out, which has already been revealed, was accepted into Utah State University, not Utah Valley. And that's actually interesting if you pause and reflect on that, because we didn't really consider how on earth Tyler became not just familiar with the layout of the campus, but familiar with the rooftop layout of UVU campus. So familiar that he knew exactly.
Bro, you see the rooftop on Google Maps. All right.
Yeah,
how to
exactly.
scale across the rooftops to duck
There's
down
things you
in
can
order
do.
to.
And the real thing is, hey buddy, I'm kind of busy driving right now. Hey, thanks Peanut Kelly. I appreciate the follow. Yeah, we'll see about adding you on Discord there. Again, thank you.
Take an almost impossible shot at a
almost impossible shot shooting someone at 100 yards with a sniper rifle or with a rifle. Dude, this is the...
I love how everyone's saying this is an impossible shot. Improbable, maybe, but it all depends on your level of expertise. And even that, it's not that far. When I first went to basic training with a standard military rifle, I think it was the AR-15 at the time. Not AR-15, Jesus. M16, and then they switched to the M4s. This is why I haven't been on yet this morning. I am ridiculously tired.
Craziest thing ever. Anyway, whatever. I can't. But remember, her theory is Tyler Robinson never killed her. Not only never killed him, but also...
But yeah, anyway, that's not an impossible shot. Now, if the kid had never picked up a gun before, and to be able to hit Charlie as accurately as he did, either sheer luck or oh, excuse me, I'm still not feeling great. But no, if it was his first time, maybe sheer luck, happenstance, whatever it is. But we know that's not true. There's pictures of him with guns in his past, which means that his parents are probably big gun people, since, as everyone points out, his parents are a bit more conservative. But no, impossible, definitely not. It's just not that far from a rooftop for someone who's out in the open with no cover. I mean,
never even was there. He wasn't even there. All right, pretty awesome. So anyway, it keeps getting better. So I want to remind you of a lot of the conspiracies that she's pushed in regards to what she's backtracking now. So one of the big conspiracies that she's pushed is that Israel did it, is that the Egyptians did it, and that the
Egyptian
French did it.
planes.
But one of the major ones was that he was betrayed by his own community, by his own people that worked with him.
And look, I mean no disrespect to people who follow Candace or believe anything that she says. I have friends that watch her just because they like conspiracies, mostly because it kind of, I don't know. Maybe they're just stoners or something, but they really like conspiracies because it kind of opens them up and they can start thinking about different possibilities. It's like writing fan fiction, okay? It's really that's pretty much what Candace is doing. She's the same level as anyone who writes for Marvel these days, to where it's not really good writing, or in her case, it's not real journalism. It's just kind of fanficky. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a little far-fetched.
Him at
A lot
Turning
far-fetched.
Point USA.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend,
Right.
and
She had a
Charlie
dream,
came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for
and
me,
that's how it started.
you don't have to
She had a dream.
believe that.
I'm not going to make any
Right. I do
MLK
believe
jokes, but
that.
they're there.
And it was the immediate sense I got, actually. And I don't know who exactly it is that.
I just had a feeling. I felt this. I felt that Charlie came to me in a dream, and it made me feel a certain way when I woke up. This is nonsense.
Betrayed him,
Right.
but I also felt in the
Yeah.
dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's
Wow.
actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed.
And here we are 3 months later. Nothing was revealed.
There's
Yeah.
nothing and no one that is going to.
Because Candace never reveals anything. She puts a lot of thoughts into the air. And then when people come, which you'll see very soon, when people come to her with the things that she herself has said, she's like, oh, I didn't say that. God, I can't wait for y'all to see the Piers Morgan interview.
stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences.
International consequences.
Take that to the bank. Quote me on that.
You know what? I will. So she had a dream that, she's really the second coming of MLK. So she had a dream.
Oh, of course.
It was pretty diabolical. The dream said that Charlie was betrayed. And after this dream, she started basically accusing everyone at Turning Point USA. Charlie's organization and his legacy. So she made this tweet. I received information last night to put the final pieces together for me. This is funny because there are no final pieces. I can now say with full confidence I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA, some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I will be naming names. She didn't name names. And providing evidence. She never provided evidence for her claims. And I am making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund.
Candace
You were
Owens
like
fans
who the
waiting for the
leadership knew.
bombshell story
This is
to
saying that
drop.
the leadership at Turning Point USA, including Erica Kirk, knew that there was an assassination plot, an international one, that came to kill Charlie Kirk, and they let it happen, and they basically endorsed it. And it's a godforsaken organization. No one should donate. Everyone should get refunds. And this terribly, terribly hurt Turning Point USA. This tweet alone has 15 million views. This hurt Turning Point by a tremendous amount, and she's making it clear under no uncertain terms that she actually is blaming Turning Point, right? So it's pretty crazy. So, and this is her basically saying on camera that Turning Point was involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk.
And I knew it was big. I didn't have the players. I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. And we can talk about what the motives are of that. They could be financial motives. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. The assassination.
She's never said that.
She's never straight out said it.
Well, aside from that tweet.
She heavily implies that shit at all times.
Was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of.
Right. So what does that mean? That means that Turning Point USA got Charlie Kirk killed in order to appoint a new ruler. Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him.
Right.
And I've never said that. The apparent plan was to assassinate Charlie Kirk, who had at long last faltered on the pro-Israel cause.
Israel.
Okay, his words, not mine.
Israel.
And then to
Those were not his words, by the way.
hostile takeover.
Right.
And I've never said that. I knew it was big. I didn't.
Hostile takeover? What does that mean? That means that they were involved. So yeah. So anyway, this was her strategy for the longest time. Okay, her plan all along.
I really don't think
Charlie
she
Kirk
knows
betrayed by Turning Point
the
USA.
definition of words.
Right, it's very clear. Like, you don't understand. She said this many, many times.
Okay, that's just what I believe right now. And I want to make sure that I have these facts entirely on my side before I tell you guys more. But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide.
Anyway, there's an entire compilation.
Wild speculation.
No facts. I think I've ever seen. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need the grassy knoll. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when it gets
they all betrayed him.
Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed, and now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I gotta be honest,
so this is implying that they killed him to...
I don't think
so Erica
LBJ
Kirk could be in charge.
Actually that upset.
What?
Look, I'm not going to deny that LBJ was probably giddy. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a conspiracy guy too. I could go 50-50 on that, but not with the Charlie Kirk bit. That'd be very much like a Caesar moment without the Caesar moment.
I don't think Erica's upset
for me in that picture, but maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ, simply use an expression, had his wits about him. It's looking to me like the apparent plan was
right. So anyway, it doesn't stop. It's constant how she's blaming Turning Point USA for, causing the death and the murder of somebody, of Charlie Kirk. So important to note, she has also said things about Erica Kirk specifically.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erica Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. There's nobody that has the capacity to get me to shut up about this, except for Erica Kirk. And I will say this, like, I am on this journey to figure out what happened on that day. I'm not going to stop.
She's not going to stop.
Unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop. I said early on, if Erica Kirk asks me to be quiet, I will be quiet.
But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, but this is not okay.
It's a no from me. But I'm just out here saying what needs to be said. We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsors.
Right. So essentially, Erica Kirk does tell her to stop.
And then she says, "It's me. It's all about me."
And then she sponsors more videos. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. And it's constant. Erica told her to stop multiple times.
At one time, the
Like her
pastor
face
Candace
changed.
Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop.
Terrifying.
Holy.
That's all I have to say.
Bro. So anyway, the face change, obvious. She looks like she is, dude, look at that face change. It's crazy.
I'm not going to lie. It's pretty much Kamala Harris's foreign policy plan is what Erica Kirk's doing to Candace Owens. The only difference is, Candace Owens drops nukes, but just like a personal attack, like it's all, it's just a turn of phrase when it comes to that. Whereas the people Kamala Harris was talking about were trying to get their hands on actual nukes. Yeah, weird.
The mood swing is instant. So anyway, she asked her to stop pretty directly, multiple times. And she's saying, don't do it, multiple times. This was Candace Owens' response on Instagram. I'm going to get into what happened with her meeting with her and why her fans turned on her in just a second. But this is important context.
I really don't like
Okay,
being
super
this
fun
close to
show
her face.
today.
It's awful.
You're probably seeing the clips, but Erica has gone off on conspiracy theorists. Obviously, every journalist out there is emailing me because it's about me. It's indirect, but it's also about me. And don't worry, in case you think it's not about me, she is going to name check me on stage with Barry Weiss on Saturday. How do we know? Because our mommy sleuths be everywhere, and they recorded the town hall today. And as soon as the town hall concluded, we got a flutter of emails. And what she says about the Egyptian planes, I'm sorry, not gonna lie, it's a little suspicious. It's weird. It's a weird response. And so look, we gotta go there.
Yeah, so basically what she's now saying is that Erica Kirk is running defense for the Egyptian plane theory into who really assassinated Charlie, and she's not going to actually stop.
Running defense for the Egyptian plane theory,
the Egyptian plane theory was debunked, and it's pretty hilarious also. I'm going to show you that today, too, because this is the ultimate deep dive. You should share this video around, honestly, because I feel like no one's going to do, like, an A to Z analysis
Hello,
like
people
this.
I'm sharing it with.
So, anyway, this is Erica saying that Charlie Kirk's legacy is not the fact that he was murdered.
But my husband's legacy is not about his murder. My husband's legacy is what he left behind.
I just reject that.
I
I reject that. There's a higher calling that we need to all get around, and the legacy. The legacy, if we find out that the government is implicated, and it looks like to me, and I think a lot of people on the outside, the government is implicated, then actually his legacy is going to be that a person who gave all of himself to helping people get elected, all of himself to this political machine, was ultimately killed by it. And I think that matters to a lot of people.
That's crazy.
So this is like Trump killed him kind of conspiracy, which is something she said another time as well. But the reality is, so she's like, the legacy is Turning Point, bringing people to faith, having people actually have the right to speak and speak your mind and fight for God and stuff. Like, that's the legacy. That's the legacy. I think Candace is like, no, that's not the legacy. The legacy is that he was killed, and now we have to push my agenda.
The legacy is
Charlie lived a
me.
lie. He lived an entire lie,
me.
and it was all fake. And we have to, actually define his legacy.
Oh, it's all fake.
It doesn't stop, man. It literally doesn't stop with her.
Like space with the dinosaurs,
of course, they're going to want to make sure they screen these questions. Like, she's going through a lot. Like, she's transitioning. She's doing this. She's like, I wouldn't want to be in her position.
Yeah, her
We're 3
husband was
months
murdered.
in now, okay, we are still getting rehearsed answers. And I feel like what is missing from all of this is, I don't know, like, passion, normal passion, not this like chat.
You know what's crazy? Like, kind of a little bit. There's a situation like what she's probably going through. Demi Moore is playing it out nicely on Landman, something very similar. Someone who's kind of in the business but not really in the business, has been around the business and knows the business, but wasn't really a part of it, is now being asked to lead it. It's not that different.
GB.
Erica Kirk is not passionate enough, guys.
He feeling of, well, we all need to unite around the mission. It's like, no, I don't really care about.
At least as of today, I haven't seen Sunday, the 21st episode yet. This is the 20th.
Cash. I would just be like, what is the borough doing? What, has anybody traced this down? Okay, I don't know if Candace is crazy, but she says the French Foreign Legion was there. Has anybody chased this down? I text her, I got this information. Okay, it's wrong. That's a dead end. Let me move over here. I've got files. I'm going to run this investigation alongside you, Cash. And I don't know what he's doing. I want like one critique.
Right, she is working with Cash Patel without even Cash Patel knowing.
Yeah, she's not.
Of the FBI. One critique.
This is the crazy conspiracy person in the movies. The only difference is in the movies, they're usually right. In this, no. It's the exact reverse. People think that she knows what she's talking about, and then they pay attention for a little bit, and they're like, oh, no, never mind.
Of anything which the public is saying is worthy of critique. Like, it's almost like you're dressing down public perception. Like, people think that you can have enough money to just cut over people's gut instincts. That's what it is. It feels like,
bro, what is even
we're
happening?
So rich, you don't have the right to think, okay?
Yeah, so retarded take. Candace, Erica's...
This coming from, she's probably just as rich as Turning Point. Like, she's worth a lot. She's like the only conservative person that's being pushed by YouTube. Not even throttled like a lot of people, but pushed. You know how rare that is for the right on YouTube? The only thing more sneaky on that, or more suspicious than that, would be that her being pushed on Twitch with Dan Gooner Clancy.
Just a pageant queen. She's rich and elitist, and she's rich and famous and elitist and rich, and therefore she's not serious and passionate enough about the fact that her husband was murdered in front of her. Now, the next part of this lore, and I think this is incredibly important for the context, because that's what I'm doing here. Actually, this is the shortest video I could possibly make to cover this properly. All right, Candace Owens was challenged by Turning Point USA to actually, on December 15th, meet up and discuss the conspiracies. All right, so this is what Candace had to say about basically them capitulating and saying, fine, we'll address everything you want, meet us and we'll discuss.
If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept.
Weird.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th from Charlie's Phoenix studio, our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, you can pick the place, you can pick the time. I've obviously, leading up to Christmas, that's the last week of our show. Obviously, it's a pretty busy week.
Right.
You can pick the place, you can pick the time, but no, they need to have it in person in Phoenix on December 15th, or they cannot have me at all.
So let's understand this. Candace Owens spent 3 months every day accusing different people of killing Charlie Kirk, including the betrayal of his entire staff. Says, pick the time, pick the place, I'll do it. The staff picks the time, picks the place. She said she can't do it that day, even though she essentially, every single day, carves time out to throw accusations at people for the murder of Charlie Kirk. But she can't make it that day. That day is just too much for her. Now, the reason why I wanted to show that to you is because Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Candace had agreed that this public discussion, live stream, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. Candace Owens says, I am very much looking forward to this discussion. Notice the date of this discussion is December 15th, the same day that Candace Owens didn't have time to actually meet the Turning Point people to actually do a show. Right? She didn't have time to do a show with the Turning Point people, but she did have time to do a secret, private, untelevised, not recorded meeting between Erica and Candace. All right, are we understanding? Now, you're probably thinking, look, the show with Turning Point would have been very long. She probably didn't have enough time. Maybe she only had like a half an hour. Eric and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. Bro, you deserve nothing. Erica doesn't owe you anything. We both feel should have happened earlier. What does that mean, we both feel? Who are you? We agreed much more than I anticipated. We agreed so much. This is after, Candace Owens spreads conspiracy theories that Israel and the French and the Egyptians and the American government worked together with Turning Point USA to kill Charlie Kirk. We really agreed on so much. Get the fuck out of here. Of course, we disagreed on various points, and people, like, you know, the killer. Most importantly, we are able to share intel and clarify intent. All right. I will, of course, have a full rundown tomorrow. As I am currently exhausted, I would like to get back to you. Nothing was held back. The immediate result, tensions are thawed. All right. So tensions are thawed after this 4.5-hour conversation. And tomorrow, which was yesterday, she is going to actually do a full video discussing everything and coming to terms with everything. And I'm so excited to show you what she has to say. So everyone had the normal reaction.
Suddenly, Candace Owens' schedule clears up. She couldn't make the live stream, but she could stream the live stream. Now she made time, and she had a 4.5-hour meeting with Erica Kirk. So she didn't have time to fly to Phoenix, Arizona, but she did have time for a 4.5-hour meeting, which you have to imagine involved time on either side of that, traveling to and from.
Yeah.
She couldn't fly there to do it in person, but she could do a 4.5-hour meeting.
Now, obviously, the reason why he's saying that is because Mossad agent Shlomo Fuentes has actually always been on our side all along. Always been on our side.
It's an interesting theory.
Shlomo Fuentes, once again, taking a whack at the anti-Semites. What a goat.
Where there's no cameras. I find that really interesting.
And for the record, she was flown into Nashville for this. All right? So she had the time to fly into Nashville, have a 4.5-hour meeting, and fly back. But not enough time to talk to the people that she was accusing of murdering Charlie Kirk.
And they say that it's a meeting with a guy named Strife at Turning Point, Erica Kirk, Turning Point's lawyers, and Candace Owens. That's the meeting.
The lawyers, interesting.
She's there for 4.5 hours. She doesn't say anything all day. Today, she gives her recap of the meeting on her show.
All right, no spoilers. No spoilers. I am going to show you a recap of her show. So my guess is they threatened to sue the fuck out of her for slander, and she got scared. All right, that's just a little Nux theory. Not trying to go anywhere, but
I mean, it's going to be her
theory,
third,
they
fourth
threatened to sue her for slandering them for murdering him, and she decided to shut the fuck up. So now, anyway, her show happens. Don't forget.
He came to me and he told me that he was betrayed.
That's right.
And so for me, you don't have to believe that.
The dream logic is back, baby. So first of all, let me just say this was one of the biggest brain Erica Kirk moments of all time. All right? And this is how she starts her show. All right, this is how she starts her show.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And, you know, this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler. And TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
All right, it gets better. Yep, this is real. This is her actual intro.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy.
What? So she does this intro. Yes,
funny.
this is the intro of her show. To say, why are you all accusing me of being bought off by the Jews now that I'm going to be backing down on all of my claims? You're all crazy. You're all crazy for assuming that. You're insane! You guys are all insane for thinking I was bought off by the Jews.
Crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down.
Calm down. Calm down.
Or when people who have never mentioned Israel
Erica said, stop.
Then mention
and then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as they just put all of these talking points in.
The reality is Erica doesn't actually have time stop powers, being that she is not Jewish. I, however, make no claims here. All right, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but it was me. It was definitely me.
To my head, that is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governor.
The reason why Erica is owned by the Jews is because she doesn't want to be on the other end of the
governable.
Dio Zawardo. She doesn't want to be at the other end of some kung fu. All right, of some jiu-jitsu. All right, she doesn't want any jiu-jitsu over there.
Jiu-jitsu is a good one.
Mossad agents like me and Shlomo Fuentes, we know the real deal.
It's really called.
They replaced Erica. Erica replaced her with a golem, guys. Erica replaced her with a golem.
I am basically akin to Kanye West.
Right.
I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me.
Kanye West tweets perfectly describe Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Dude, she's doing it to herself. Remember when Kanye West said, I want to go DEFCON 3 on all Jews?
Like, don't get me wrong, Kanye West has calmed down a lot in
like,
the last
that is
year or two,
me.
I think.
Damn.
I think he apologized
Damn,
to some
cooking.
rabbis
That
or
tweet
some
right
such
there, I was like, oh,
nonsense.
Gosh. Yes,
Wow.
okay, that I
But
get this.
He gets it.
Nobody is changing their mind
Still,
anything. Well, how
quoting him when he
ridiculous
was
would
at
it
his
have
worst.
been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then Erica Kirk offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them.
Well, that's true. That's exactly why you refuse to do the live stream with Turning Point, but that's okay.
No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions?
Except they literally wanted to do that with you, and you refused because it didn't fit into your schedule. Now, just understand.
I tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no
I had a similar
rules.
situation.
They
Someone
said
asked me a question. I gave
you
them
can
an
ask
answer.
us any question that you want,
They
anything
didn't
that's
like
on
the
your
answer, so
mind,
they asked the
which I
question again. This
appreciated.
happened 4 or 5
All right,
times.
so this is how she starts. All right, this is how she starts. All right, get ready. So now you're probably thinking what she's gonna do is double down and continue to accuse Turning Point, right? Yeah, she obviously hates Jews. Someone in chat's like, does she actually hate Jews? Bro, she started her episode with Shabbat Shalom. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe she's just retarded and she feels like it's a good grift. So you don't understand how bad it got.
Not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what Erica's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats.
I mean, if Candace Owens is there, it's generally an
I
argument.
didn't drink water while I brought...
Bro! She thought the water was poisoned! She thought that they poisoned the water. She really thought that they
This is not a well
her
person.
to do a meeting and they poisoned her water bottle. Do we understand the level of retard we're dealing with?
My own water, but I didn't drink that water too.
Candace
There's
Owens
There's a lot going on, okay?
She was being careful. She went with no security to a meeting with people that she thought killed Charlie Kirk. And she thought that they poisoned all the water, and she outsmarted all of them by just not drinking anyone's water. Like, she's actually delusional. People don't understand. You don't understand. She's a crazy person. She's a crazy person.
Yes,
now, here is
100%.
where
She's a crazy
backtracking
person.
begins.
I wished it was live, but I will also say I am glad that some parts weren't because I was
I love how she says, I wish it was live, but she actually refused to do the live show. Anyway, on the same day, at the same time.
Able to tell.
Because, again, as we're going to see here in a few minutes, she's not good live. I'm sorry, she's just not. Unless she can browbeat you or just end the conversation by saying, I'm too pregnant for this man, or whatever is going on with her at the moment. She's not good live.
Tell them some things that I have not yet said that I wanted
she's
to
not
like
good in
fact check
general,
and get
but
some answers
especially
on, but also to say something to them that I found out that I didn't say because I didn't want to hurt the company in a way, right? So
she didn't want to hurt the company. Even though she's made dozens of tweets and videos accusing them of murdering Charlie Kirk in a regicide to take over the company in a hostile takeover, and told people to retract their donations to the godforsaken company.
I mean, I know everyone looks horrible when you freeze frame them like this, but my God.
Some of this is very relevant to Charlie's research and what happened on 9/10, and some of it is not. So we got to, I guess, have a better... I wished it was live, but I will also say I am glad that some parts weren't because I was then able to tell them some things that I have not yet said.
Or did I do that?
Right. So she has like conspiracies in the bank.
Right?
She has conspiracies in the bank that she didn't release yet. But this is her big apology for accusing everyone of murdering Charlie Kirk, right? So she obviously is going to apologize to the Turning Point people. Complete and utter backtrack on all the conspiracies.
They were sort of most upset with what obviously a bit of a fever pitch, when I tweeted that it was a godforsaken company and people should not give money to it.
Said he was betrayed.
You think that they were upset when you accused them of murdering their friend and then told them their entire company's corrupt and told people to stop donating? What? You thought they were upset about that? That's crazy.
And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated.
Most of what she says is aggressive.
I don't know. I felt like we weren't getting any answers, and there were so many lies.
I just had an emotional crash out, that's all. And then I accused them all of murdering their best friend and told people not to donate to their company. That's all, whatever.
And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I've told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly.
No way.
That I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning.
You literally didn't tell any truth.
Like 5-6
She's
years ago.
the victim. She accused all of Turning Point USA for murdering Charlie Kirk, All right, as well as, Israel and Egypt and America and France, all right, and the communists and the bee cult and all that. Obviously, we've covered all this in the past.
I mean, it's amazing how you can accuse a group of people of murdering their founder and group of friend, and then be like, oh, why is everyone so mad at me and attacking me?
But she's actually the victim when she told people not to donate to Turning Point USA.
Casually, when I mentioned the Catholicism thing, like, what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly...
Because you lied! Another one of her lies was that secretly Charlie Kirk, before the end of his life, he was a Protestant Christian. I'm pretty sure he was an evangelical Christian. And she said that right before he died, bam, he was in the middle of converting to Catholicism. That was one of her big things, which was completely unproven and not true and debunked a million times. But, like, that was another one of her conspiracies. They wanted to kill her. They wanted to kill him because he was becoming Catholic or something. So anyway.
And she always, and I know I've said this before, but she always asks the question, who profited most from Charlie Kirk's murder? Candace Owens did. Like, clearly Candace Owens did. Turning Points, they've been around the same. I mean, there was a huge influx, and then it kind of dropped down a little bit. But Candace Owens has been consistently on the up since this happened until what we're about to see.
Anywho, one of Candace's big conspiracy theories, all right, this entire time, was that Charlie Kirk texted people before he died that they were going to kill him. And they is obviously referring to the Jews. All right, this was Candace Owens' conspiracy theory. That Charlie Kirk texted someone before he was killed that they are going to kill him, and that they refers to the Jews. All right, we're on the same page. This was another one of her big conspiracy theories.
And Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now, they asked me if I had actually like a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before, and I said no. Somebody told me what it said.
All right, so basically, she never actually had these text messages. She never had the text messages that she said she had, that Charlie Kirk was texting people that they were going to kill him. All right, cool.
Was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they were, the they that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So,
you mean what actually happened? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So the big text message that they were going to kill him was a text message that she never saw. In the actual text message that she used to build her entire conspiracy that the Jews killed him, all right, they was referring to the left. The American leftists killed him. That's what he texted people, and he...
Yeah, because again, she saw a text message leak that said, they are trying to kill me, and she immediately went to the Jews with no evidence. Never saw any evidence. Just stuff that she made up.
Was right.
I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they. Now, obviously, we discussed the...
Awkward.
And this is the thing. And this is the same thing that happened when Elizabeth Warren tried to accuse Bernie Sanders of saying a woman can never be president. Okay. She said that the story, she saw it first. She saw the evidence. She was there when it happened. And then it turned out, oh, no, a friend or someone on my staff told me this, so I just went with it.
Awkward. So they was not the Jews. They was the leftists, which is revealed in the actual message, which she never saw, which she used to build her entire conspiracy on. Now, the crazy part is, anyone that knew Charlie Kirk, or at least watched Charlie Kirk, like I did for the record, knew exactly what Charlie was talking about. Because this was a clip of Charlie Kirk.
I never watched the show. I've seen a few clips here.
My fear, Senator, and I hope I'm wrong, and let's say stay in prayer that I'm wrong, that someone is going to get shot the same way that Steve Scalise got shot, and God forbid, killed. The left is creating a pressure cooker with so many of their rank-and-file paramilitary troops that very well might result in one of us getting shot or killed. God forbid that happens. We're getting death threats every single day here on the Charlie Kirk Show. My fear, Senator...
Anyone that actually watched Charlie Kirk knew exactly what he was referring to. I even knew what he was referring to. I've even said this in previous videos, what he was referring to. He constantly and correctly stated that the left is a dangerous, violent, godless group of people that are more than happy to murder their opponents. He was right, unfortunately. And unfortunately, he was murdered by a radical leftist because of all this, who wrote leftist shit on his bullets and killed him. Truly...
Well, say what you want about that, but the real big thing for me is that this was one of the most milquetoast sure, influential, but as milquetoast as they come. Like, this was just like a regular person who was a religious person in America. Like, he didn't have any extreme views, and now people are painting him out to be a Nazi. That's my only big thing. Look, I got no great love for Charlie Kirk. I never watched his show. I've seen a few clips here and there, as a lot of people have. He seemed like a decent guy. I don't understand how of all the targets, and this is not me trying to paint a target on anyone's back, just because I don't have that kind of pull, obviously, but I wouldn't do it anyway. Like Crowder, I can understand, because he's actually dangerous. He's done undercovers and all this, but he's been doing this for years, but he doesn't have the platform that Kirk did. It was literally just because he was big, not because of anything he actually did. Which, it's just, it's horrible. It's got to be pointed. Like, I don't think, I don't know. I don't want to get all Candace Owens conspiratorially, but I don't know. And you can see the effect that it's had on conservatives. I mean, you've got the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson side of things, and then you've got the pretty much Ben Shapiro corner, and then you've got guys like Nux. And they're fracturing into these little sections. Like, well, I don't like this about this guy. I don't like this about this guy. It's like the left's been for the last 10, 12 years.
An unbelievable nightmare that took place. I'm still shaken that he's dead, by the way. It's hard watching him.
I am too,
I think
100%.
he really brought so many people closer to God, and I think that's such an unbelievable thing, and I don't think there's a single other conservative commentator that's actually doing that. I watch conservative commentators yell and scream about all that, but no one even mentions God unless God is used as some sort of weapon.
And that's one of the reasons it hits me so. It's just because he reminds me of someone I went to high school with. Those of you who are from where I'm from would probably know him, but he was a genuinely decent guy, and although he didn't look like much of a thinker, he could get pretty deep sometimes, and that's, I don't know. Like, and I'm not even one to bask in like the death of someone who is truly evil. He just didn't strike me as that kind of guy.
And it's so sad. I really think that the number one flaw in Western culture is honestly, we're taking God out of the public square. And it's really, really so sad. It's so sad. Unbelievably sad. So anyway, so this was Charlie Kirk saying that his biggest fear was that a leftist was going to kill him. And in his text message, he said that they, the left, is going to kill me. And she used that text message to straight up push an agenda that Israel killed him. Very cool. Very cool. Now, on to the next conspiracy theory that Candace has been pushing for literally
Egyptian planes?
the entire
Egyptian
time.
Planes?
Literally the entire time. That the Egyptian planes were following Erica Kirk around on all of her trips.
And of course, I was locked in this meeting when people online were another round of debunking the Egyptian planes. I want to be very clear. We discussed the Egyptian planes, and I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our website, because I realized that when we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns,
spoilers, is not on our website.
Planes landed on that day because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erica had been on that day.
Plus or minus 3 days.
Where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erica had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into...
She's literally become... Like, she is what the left sees Alex Jones as. She's literally become that. But she's that for the conservatives, but on the conservative side somehow. It's bizarre how unhinged she has shown herself to be.
An interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I am certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady and that they were, in fact, tracking Turning Point USA faith, broader events. Of course, Erica was at some of them. Charlie was at some of them. But it is the pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes. I also want to say to you that I feel very confident that I know why these planes have caused such panic. And it is because they're...
Before we get into why the planes caused panic. So one of her oldest conspiracy theories is that there were Egyptian planes following Erica Kirk around wherever she was going. Wherever she would go, Egyptian planes would follow Erica around. Truly scary stuff, honestly. It's pretty terrifying to think about how the Egyptian planes were following Erica Kirk wherever she was going. We're all on the same page on that one. Everywhere Erica went, bam, Egyptian planes showed up. All right, so that was the conspiracy theory. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you the debunking in just a minute because this was completely not true. That's one. And two, and this is the crazier part, here's why the Egyptian planes are actually suspicious. Are you ready?
Well, so let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes. I also want to say to you that I feel very confident that I know why these planes have caused such panic.
Absolutely
and it is because there is overwhelming evidence that these planes regularly fly in and out of Israel. And I'm going to have evidence
they are Egyptian Israeli planes.
It's the next country
that are flying
over.
around following Erica Kirk. But they're not landing in Israel. They're flying in and out of Israel airspace. Wow. Wow,
Wait,
that's
is
a good
that really?
analysis. So the Egyptian planes are secretly Israeli
Okay, I was
operatives
just thinking
because they're flying
air
in and
travel,
out of
but
Israeli airspace.
is it really?
Right? So that's pretty suspicious.
It's just
if you think
flying
about
over
it,
their
honestly.
airspace.
That's pretty suspicious. Now, you're probably thinking Israel is probably very far from Egypt, and therefore it'd be really suspicious that these planes keep
They're not
flying,
an ally.
flying
That's someone
through
they have a
Israeli
peace treaty
airspace,
with.
right? That's probably what you're thinking. That's what I would think. Except this is Egypt, and this is Israel.
Yeah.
Every single Egyptian plane that wants to fly anywhere in Europe or Asia has to fly through Israeli airspace. So realistically, this does not actually fucking mean anything. This means nothing. All right, are we on the same page? All right, so this is Gaza over here. One border to Israel, one border to Egypt, which is closed off. So again, you have to be retarded to think anything. All right, so this is secret Egyptian-Israeli planes.
of Israel and turning their transponder off each time that they do it. That is now makes perfect sense of why there was this mass panic, right?
There
It's
was
not
no
exactly
mass
like we
panic.
have a strong Egyptian
She
lobby
was the mass panic.
in the United States.
It was
Now we're like,
literally
whoa,
all her.
those darn
Everyone,
Egyptians again.
and it reminds me of that episode of South Park where Cartman was spreading a rumor. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. And then Kyle went to Cartman. Cartman took him to Butters. Kyle asked Butters. And they said, Butters, where'd you hear that from? And they said, from Cartman. That's all it is. Everyone's hearing it from Candace Owens, which is the only reason why anyone was freaking out about this.
They're trying to get TikTok censored. I mean, every person in the game, Barry, acting. Well, these are the usual suspects that act if something is a threat to Israel, okay? Which
Charlie Kirk was not. Charlie Kirk was the biggest pro-Israel voice in all of America. Right? This is unbelievably retarded.
Frankly, just pissing me off.
But
So I became locked in on these Egyptian planes because that's how I am, okay? You keep pushing me and keep pushing me. I will become an expert on these planes. I'll learn how to build an Egyptian plane. The reality
the word is nuts.
like I said,
She's
tomorrow
nuts.
I will show you how these planes
She's
tie
a bit
back
nutty.
to Israel. And there's no...
Right. So the Egyptian planes are actually Israeli planes. So again, it all comes back.
Of course.
All comes back. So first of all, she claims that the Egyptian plane conspiracy is still going. All right, we've debunked the turning point stuff because you have to walk all that shit back immediately. That's pretty great. So she walked all that back, but she's not walking back the Egyptian planes because actually the Egyptian planes fly through Israeli airspace and land in the same location as Erica Kirk very often. Now that's really suspicious. Except public flight data proves that Candace Owens is just completely incorrect. Even Alex Jones.
We're not. Candace Owens has told millions of people the two Egyptian military aircraft, SU-BT and SU-BND, tracked Erica Kirk's movements 73 times over 3 years.
Between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SUB, the yellow plane, and SUBND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations, okay?
Wow.
68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped, okay? And 29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. I am telling you this information has been completely verified. I am showing you this on a spreadsheet now. These are all the instances in which this plane, 68 instances that this plane crossed
73, her
with
last
Erica.
number.
She says the odds of this happening randomly are
less than a 0.000000001% probability.
Wow.
Okay, under random distribution models that these Egyptian planes coincidentally landed around Erica at these times.
In her words,
within 3 days, mind you.
planes hold the key.
The Egyptian planes hold the key, and that is obvious. Maybe these planes might be the key to everything. They hold the key to solving Charlie's assassination.
Egypt to Israel to
How would you
France
even
to
know to
United
look at
States to
that?
TPUSA to Charlie.
Well, actually, she says that the Egyptian planes are secretly Israeli Mossad Egyptian planes. So, all right,
Israeli
attention.
Mossad Egyptian.
This entire web rests on one claim, that these 2 Egyptian planes tracked Erica Kirk 73 times.
All right.
To support it, Candace said she used Flight Radar 24 and showed a spreadsheet on her screen.
All right.
I screenshotted that spreadsheet and rebuilt it line by line. She says she verified everything using Flight Radar 24.
All right.
So I did exactly what she claimed she did.
Nice.
I bought the Flight Radar 24 business subscription, the same one she says she used.
That's huge.
Then I went further.
All right.
I purchased a $950 3-year flight log from FlightAware to independently verify every entry.
Nice.
When you compare what the planes are actually doing to what Candace claims they did, the results aren't close.
Oh, no.
66% of her location claims are wrong. And in 6...
But who would fact check Candace Owens? No! I thought Candace Owens was our modern day Batman. I can't believe it. You mean she literally just got 66 of the locations completely wrong? Anyway, it gets better.
66
of the cases,
73.
the aircraft is on an entirely different continent.
Different continent, ladies and gentlemen. Different continent. Now, if you want the abridged explanation about the spreadsheets, they did not overlap 70 times.
I mean, technically,
know
Egypt
First
and
of all,
Israel are on
66% of
different
them are
continents.
just
They're on
literally
the
in the wrong
divide.
place. All right, so it's still a third. A third of 70 is still a lot,
Or
right?
the
It's
border
still
or
26 or whatever. All right, so that's still 26 overlaps. That's a lot of overlaps. But how do you define overlap? Well, I thought overlap would be same place, same time. Well, the spreadsheet defines overlap as the Egyptian planes landed within plus or minus 3 days of Erica. All right, so they landed within the same week as Erica Kirk. All right. And also within the same region. But that is within 50 to 100 miles, not even the same day or same airport.
So it turns out the 66 out of 70 or 73 overlaps, all of them were within the same week and within 100 miles. That's the size of most of the northeastern states. It's a pretty big area. You can get quite a bit at 70, 80 miles an hour. It's a pretty big range, especially if there's a lot of cities and airports within a certain area. And again, that's just overlap. That's not saying that they stopped in the same place even, probably.
Not even necessarily the same country. So let's understand this. Of the 73 plane overlaps, all right, it was actually only like 26. And of those 26, they were not necessarily even in the same place. They were up to 100 miles away. Not even necessarily in the same country, just in the same region. And also, not even necessarily the same day. It is plus or minus 3 days from the actual time Erica Kirk was there.
Which, of course, 3 days on either side of a single day equals
this means
a week.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. In fact, when she claimed that the Egyptian planes were there at the same time as Charlie Kirk in Utah when he was assassinated, are you ready for the real twist? She got the time zone wrong.
What a
twist. The Egyptian plane left before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. She still said that it was suspicious because she thought UTC time stood for Utah time. So she got the time zone wrong to make it sound like the plane was there when he was assassinated and then took off an hour later, when in reality the plane took off first because she got the time zone wrong. So she got the time zone wrong, she got the locations of the planes wrong 66% of the time, and even the ones that actually did overlap only overlapped within plus or minus 3 days and to 50 to 100 miles away. Are we on the same page? The Egyptian plane theory is...
What? This can all be hand-waved away by Candace Owens not knowing what things mean, Candace Owens not doing her research, and Candace Owens having feelings.
Is not working. Now, there's another incredible journalist out there by the name of Tucker Carlson, who's been paid off, in my opinion, by Qatar. He plays his guitar constantly. It's a little
Pam
terrifying.
Bondi is also an asset of Qatar.
This dude's diabolical. I really think this dude's like a CIA spook. He's suspicious as fuck. All right, I'll be real. But
I don't know about all that.
I don't know if everything Candace says
but I do think he's a bit of a puppet these days.
Recently, Candace said that Egyptian-registered aircraft were following Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, around for a number of years in different places in the world. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever heard, and I just want to say
he does have
that
the
is
laugh
factually
of
true.
someone.
That's true. So that's like the one
named
name
Tucker.
that I happen to know is true. What does that mean? I have literally no idea. I can't even guess.
It's not true.
That's very,
It's not true.
Tucker
very
Carlson doesn't know things.
And what is Egyptian? It could mean aircrafts from Egypt. Who knows?
I think that they were registered in Egypt.
Got it.
And so, but that fact is true. So
It's not.
that
It's
enough
just not, though.
recently.
Right. So we got the endorsement of Tucker Carlson that the Egyptian plane thing is true, even though it's not true. It's diabolical. It's
Theo Von seems like a very nice guy, but he's literally the caricature of what people think all these scientists going to talk to Joe Rogan is. Love Theo to death. He's hilarious. He seems like a sweet guy, but thought beyond joke writing, not really his forte.
It's absolute insanity. Dude, 66% of Candace's Egyptian planes locations are wrong on her chart. 60% of the planes are on the wrong continent. And she provides no evidence to verify where Erica Kirk was in any of these. All right, and she mentions it constantly. The Egyptian planes, the Egyptian planes. Now, Candace Owens got cooked in her live chat while she was doing this. All right, she made this big show after meeting Erica Kirk. She had over 300,000 live viewers at the time. And her chat was eating her alive. Because she backed down on half of her claims. She doubled down on the fake claims. So, and I'm going to show you some of the comments in a minute. But while she was getting absolutely obliterated, she decided to introduce a new theory on why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. In my opinion, she just did this to save face because, you know, her audience was turning on her.
That knows that it's not worth living life that way. My whole spirit would be corrupted. I couldn't do it. I struggle with people that can do it.
Don't have
I
a
struggle
spirit
seeing
there,
people
lady.
who have so obviously sold their souls
But she didn't,
on the internet.
unlike her.
It's very
She
frustrating
didn't,
to watch it.
Right.
Central 848 writes, Candace, please look into the possibility that Charlie was electrocuted and that the hole in his neck was made by the currents passing through his necklace and out of his throat. The images of his charred hands are conclusive and compelling. Please, for the love of God, look into this. I did watch that video that Baron Coleman put together. First and foremost, I want to say Baron Coleman has done some incredible work. And
Look, real quick, stop posting stuff like this. Like, yes, we know Rob Reiner didn't like Trump, said a lot of really awful, nasty stuff about Trump. The difference is, and would he have said it after he died? Probably. Okay, but that's not the order of events. Okay, it's okay to say that it's a nasty thing that Trump said. I don't even remember the exact thing, but what he posted about Rob Reiner. If it was even him writing all that.
And I actually told him that we should get together and collaborate because I had watched a video where he was building on Camp Wachuk, and he made me notice some things. So then we started researching some other elements, and that's what we're going to move on to tomorrow.
Wow.
I can tell you definitively that's a weird camera angle. They do look charred in the photos that he showed, but I can tell you that his hands were not charred when he was buried. And so what you thought that, like, people were like, oh, this was like makeup and stuff. It was a very compelling theory. It just wasn't so, and I very much trust the person.
Right. So, new theory is that Charlie Kirk was electrocuted by his necklace, and she's seen other videos talking about it, and they're very good. You should definitely check out those other videos about how Charlie Kirk was electrocuted by his necklace, and that's why all the blood came out of what appeared to be a bullet wound from his neck, but it was actually just his necklace. It was actually just his necklace. Now,
this is probably one of the dumbest theories.
We found the culprit, guys. I know we're looking into a lot of areas. I feel like there's another place we could look. I feel like there's one more area that Candace Owens isn't really considering this. Have you considered that Hassan Piker literally cheered the murder of Charlie Kirk? Have you considered that Hassan Piker has been known to administer electrocutions through the necklaces of certain individuals or animals? I don't know, Candace. I feel like there's something to do here. I feel like we need to use your detective skills for the forces of good. Electricity doesn't work like that. What? Chat, you just debunked Candace Owens. Wow. I love when chat's like, but wait a second, it doesn't work that way. You mean that you don't think Charlie Kirk was murdered by literally getting electrocuted by his necklace and making a little hole in his neck where blood poured out? What? You don't think so? I personally am shocked and appalled you would say that against Candace Owens. So this is Candace Owens
initially going to
at the very end of her show, after getting blasted by everyone, all right, in her entire chat, her entire audience turned on her. This is how she kind of wrapped things up on her show. I got a little more from her show, and then I have to show you the Piers Morgan debate because it's truly insane.
To when we were going to live stream the conversation before the Barry Weiss moment, Megyn Kelly offered to ref that conversation. I felt like she would have done a very good job. I do think that she has kept it very even. She has not been hysterical and it's demonic, it's evil. How dare Candace?
She should have been.
And I appreciated that. She has
anyone that's neutral, by the way, on the Candace Owens thing is retarded. My opinion is you have no right to be neutral. If you're neutral, you're a retard. Sometimes neutrality doesn't work. I don't care. Oh, I'm fence sitting. I'm trying to keep my options open. No.
I don't agree with that. Sometimes, look, if you're in the space, you pay too much attention like me, or you get paid like these people. For them, I can understand them thinking that. But for regular people, a lot of people don't pay as much attention to this kind of stuff. Is it sad? I don't know. I mean, would you rather know what's going on despite the fact that you really can't change it unless you sign up with the people who are in power and you just sign on to the same thing that you got invested to stop? Or, I mean, that's what happens to most people, or they die. Or just live life and try to do whatever the hell you want. Be happy until you die.
You're retarded. No, there's no neutral here. If you're neutral, you're evil.
And I appreciate that.
I don't agree with that.
Has said, I don't agree with Candace, but I also don't think that she's doing this because she's been possessed by a demon. I think she actually believes these things, and I do. And I have a right to believe those things.
Whoa,
and I don't feel like the people that I mentioned on the show at Turning Point USA. And with time, we'll see whether or not I was right. I think that's really what it comes down to.
It all comes down to with time.
I mean, I'm sure Nux will think I'm sure Nux will think I'm a retard. I don't care. I don't agree with his take. All right, that's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, she admits she has nothing.
But all around, definitely a productive conversation. I know it's 4 hours, so more things will come to my mind as they become relevant. But I think that's a good pause for right now. We'll throw it to someone.
Yeah. So in conclusion, she has nothing. She literally has nothing. Okay. Is that not the most incredible thing? She literally has nothing after all this, accusing all these people. She has nothing. Because the trial didn't happen. Oh my God. Why? It was likely the same people that killed JFK killed Charlie. And for the record, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Candace Owens' retardation, she thinks Israel killed JFK too.
Israel was like 10 years old.
So she thinks Israel killed
JFK
Charlie and JFK. Even though Israel barely existed when JFK was killed, there's no way this actually happened. No one
That's a retard take.
It's been a pleasure to watch with you for the past 3 months. We're a massive group of truth seekers, and Candace Owens is literally bought. It's a big club. We aren't in it. Who's doing this now? You click the trust the chat. You have to look at the comments. Well, I looked at the comments, and they are eating your ass.
To actually look at comments after the episode to see what people...
So the chat's botted, so you can't trust the chat. You have to look at the comments. Well, I looked at the
so anyone who disagrees with we're in the chat, they're bots. Just like, Hassan Diddy, Bin Laden Piker likes to say, the chat's Nazis. Or they're Asmongold's fans in there and not his own fan base turning against him.
And they are eating your ass. They are killing you, lady. They are obliterating you.
I think
we
had some people talk about how there are so many bots in the chat. And so focus on obviously the words that I am saying. And obviously you can tell that I have not been paid.
Yeah. You know who can't tell?
Why'd I skip ahead? Just because that part's mostly him going over the comments. And I don't care about what randos are saying. I mean, I do. Some of it's funny, but it doesn't really have any. Well, some of it has some substance, but for the most part, those didn't.
You have not been paid. Every single person in your audience, they all think you're part of the conspiracy. Something is off about Candace. Something isn't right. I know I sound crazy, but she doesn't sound like herself. Oh my!
Yeah, people think that they killed her, cloned her, and put this new one out.
God, I love it so much. So anyway, Candace Owens ended up on Piers Morgan after this to discuss this. And Piers Morgan,
we're going
the guy
full screen
who gets obliterated by everyone that's even remotely based, destroyed her. I can't even believe it.
Let's assume for a moment you're right, and that all these Egyptian planes were flying around tracking Charlie Kirk and Turning Point and Erica Kirk. Why? What is your theory?
I don't know.
Well, there must be. You must have an idea.
My theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened. The difference.
So the cool part is
not an answer.
The cool part is she doesn't even know what her own conspiracy is. Okay, so let's say that the Egyptian planes are actually following him around. Then what?
Between me and you is that I have the courage to take the risks and ask the questions first. Okay, before it's
she's so courageous, so very courageous.
Popular. You wait until it becomes popular and then you change your mind.
Stop. See, and she goes directly into personal attacks. Like, Piers Morgan's actually doing some good journalism here, for the most part, better than he's normally known to do. And she immediately gets angry. Remember, she's quick to anger.
And she made no request of you whatsoever, Erica Kirk, in 4.5 hours. Let's assume for...
No, not at all. She just herself changed her mind. So this is a little 4-minute clip that was going very viral, and it's just 4 minutes of Candace Owens completely folding to this actual to this boomer liberal cuck. It's crazy.
Why would he say
Right,
that?
so
Why was he so involved in a
get
90,000 front war?
Candace, I want to get to the reality of what you're actually saying. So when you say that somebody at Turning Point USA, Charlie's company, was complicit in his murder, who was?
I believe that there were multiple people at Turning Point who are, as I have said many times, my exact words are, they are engaged in a cover-up of what happened to Charlie on that day.
No, but who was involved in his murder?
I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said that...
Not even true, for the record. That's why I started this video showing you her saying that, yes.
The Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that
Her exact sentence was, it was akin to a regicide, where they killed a king to install new power.
said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe
Sorry,
that
you didn't.
thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't.
And he's like, bro, what do you mean? I saw the clip. You literally didn't say that.
Say that. You said literally.
I did say that
they
on
were,
my entire
You said
show.
there were people at Turning Point complicit in his murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did.
That's what you said.
She did.
When you and I
100%
were
she did.
discussing, that's why I said, let's go back. I was applying the logic of a conspiracy to JFK. I said, okay, JFK, you have people that are complicit. Of course, if you apply that logic, if there is a conspiracy, there's going to be multiple people that are going to be complicit by the time, in order for a large stage murder to happen.
You specifically said, you didn't say complicit in a cover-up. You said complicit in the murder. Because I said, who at Turning Point was involved in his murder? And
Let
you
me
said,
clarify for you. Okay, you can keep saying what I said, or you can listen to what I am saying.
Okay.
When I was using the analogy of
But
JFK,
it's still something you
connecting it,
said.
I was basically pushing back on you because you were suggesting
In this show.
that all of these people being involved would be crazy. So I was applying the analogy of what happened to JFK. Well, you actually, if you go back and listen,
I don't know.
Suggesting that a
I
conspiracy.
said you don't know either. You're floating theories.
When we started talking about the JFK thing,
listen,
Pierce, black woman is speaking. Shut up, man. She's getting killed. She's getting killed. Dude, she can't handle any pushback because she has zero evidence to anything.
Yeah.
This is literally all just head
Candace Owens is not a journalist, okay? She's a tabloid at best.
cannon.
No,
make it clear.
Piers, I really think you're not holding on to your thoughts.
Well, let me start my thought very clearly.
When we started talking about JFK that you were making, you to suggest that
my show,
multiple
my show,
I was
my
then
show.
connecting
Look,
the dots and saying that.
and this is what she does. She just talks louder than you until you stop talking. This is her tactic.
In order for the JFK assassination to happen, there had to have been tons of people that were complicit.
I heard what you said.
Maybe you're the person who takes the cameras down. Maybe you're the person that told him to drive that day. Maybe you're LBJ. So they're not all complicit in the murder, but they're all at different varying stages involved in the cover-up, right? So that's what a grand conspiracy.
Wait, she thinks that people that knew that he was going to get murdered and told him to drive there that day is not part of the murder? That's just part of the cover-up for JFK? Are you insane?
Actually is.
Okay.
And I do believe, so you don't have to go back and we don't have to go through it. I'm telling you what I think
Yeah,
about
so
Turning Point.
so you don't go back and look at what I actually said, which is exactly what Piers Morgan said it was.
I am very known for being honest about what I believe. I'm not exactly a person that you got to pull teeth.
She's honest about what she believes in, but what she believes is a lie. Whether it's a lie that she believes or a lie that she's telling, it's a lie.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were any of them engaged in...
So you have to understand. So she accuses Turning Point people of killing him. All right. She meets with Erica. She does a show where she says they didn't actually kill him. She gets so blasted in her own comment section, she's back to saying that not that they killed him, but that they did do the cover-up.
The planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk.
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I can't make that. I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up because I've been investigating what happened on that day and what transpired thereafter. I've been clear. I've named those people on my show. I've said they are engaged in a cover-up, and I've listed the lies. So you don't have to try to make something out of what I didn't say. I tell you what I think. It's already controversial.
He's not
we need to
making
get more
something out of what you didn't say. He's
Do I think
making
someone actually
something
pulled
out
the
of what you
trigger?
actually
No.
said.
Obviously, I don't think someone Turning
Do you
Point
think anybody at Turning Point, did anybody at Turning Point, in your opinion, know that Charlie Kirk was going to be murdered?
There is specifically 2 people at Turning Point USA, and I have communicated that information to Erica and Justin Strife, that I would not be surprised if they had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
So in other words, she has no idea. In other words, she has literally no idea.
you have any evidence?
I'm not going to name.
Yes.
I am not going
She's
to
not gonna
name those
names
people
because they'll take her to court.
Because it's not right for me to name those people until I know for a fact that they did.
Did you give the names?
So she has zero evidence. She's just suspicious about two people at Turning Point that maybe they knew that he was going to get killed in advance. Bro.
So did you give the names to Erica?
Yes,
so
I absolutely did.
You gave the names to Erica of two employees, current employees at Turning Point, who you believe were involved in the preparation for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're saying?
I told them that if
that
I were in your
could be.
shoes, these would be two employees that I would look further into. That's
And what
I
evidence
said.
do you have that they had any prior knowledge of the murder?
Because I don't have concrete evidence is
Didn't
the
like
reason
their
why I'm
face.
not. So I've been.
So you got
responsible.
no evidence.
But what do you have?
telling-
But why make the insinuation if you don't have anything to lead you to that? That's what he's asking.
The widow that
hateful,
these
man,
two
it's
people
so
may have been
hateful.
involved in the murder. But you see the problem.
Well, the evidence for it is people that there was not concrete evidence. It's like you're trying to get me to say something that I never said, and then
he
asking me
wants
to
to
defend
know
it.
what your
What evidence
suspicion
you got?
Actually go to. You're asking me privately. Did I communicate to them that I think you should look further? That's called an investigation, Pierce.
Yeah, so no evidence to anything. Zero evidence. Yeah, that's Candace. Zero evidence. Now, the funny part, in my opinion, in regards to this Pierce Morgan thing, is that she was caught lying and changing her words on his own show.
Yeah.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said
My
that
show-
people were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
They were
I
complicit.
believe
Sorry, you
that
didn't.
thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't say that.
Roll the tape one more time.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen.
Complicit.
I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said that were
I didn't
complicit
say
in his
that.
murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said
I
was that
totally
there were
didn't say
people
that.
at Turning Point who are
Why would I
engaged
say
in
that?
a cover-up.
No, you
I
didn't.
believe
Sorry.
that.
Is it because I'm the only person who's really profited off of her alleged best friend's murder?
Didn't.
Thoroughly.
Sorry, you didn't. Sorry, you didn't. Candace, you didn't. You're retarded. You're gay. You're a Candace. Candace, you're a gay retarded. You didn't, Candace. You're retarded. You literally just said something else, Candace. You're retarded.
And she literally
anyway,
did.
That's today's episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
And the reason he keeps saying retarded and gay is because that's what Candace Owens calls pretty much. She says NASA and space is fake and gay. She says the dinosaurs are fake and gay and made it by the Jews. Okay, you can't make this shit up. I mean, she does, but you probably can't. But yeah, so that's the biggest update on the whole Candace Owens situation. She's spiraling. She's a lunatic, and she must be stopped. Without any physical harm. Okay, I want her to go away. Career-wise, I want her to work at Arby's or Target. Okay, that's the only thing. She personally profits off of misery that she causes. She's the biggest vulture. Like, she's at the same level as the one that's always throwing herself at Hassan Piker. Oh God, I was just watching her this morning. Taylor Lorenz. This is the conservative Taylor Lorenz, I guess. She's just the worst. And she's not a journalist, which is why she was fired from her job. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about the Candace Owens situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what you saw, go ahead and drop a like. Follow me on Rumble and all the things. I'm there. Follow me on X. I go through periods. I'll have like 2 or 3 weeks where I'm just constantly engaged, and then a couple weeks where I'm not. So it's pretty entertaining though. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by, and we will see you. I'll probably throw some kind of gaming stream on tomorrow.